Okay, so far we learned in this Maamar is we learned a new insight, new way of reading the pasuk Maamar is based on. Pasuk says you should command the Jewish people, you should bring you olive oil, olive should be crushed, be a source of light, it should be a constant flame. So we asked a couple of questions. What's the meaning of you should command? It's really Hashem who commands. Why is it a constant flame? The next pasuk it says it should be evening to morning. Why does it say they should bring the oil to you and the iron's one lights in there? And why is it called a source of light instead of just calling it crushing the olives to give light? And so what we did so far was explain this pasuk on a deeper level, and we're left with one segment of the pasuk which still has to be explained. We explained the word commandment means connection. When Hashem tells Moshe to command the Jewish people, he's telling them to connect the Jewish people. To connect the Jewish people with Hashem. And there is the way Moshe Rabbeinu himself connects the Jewish people with Hashem. That's by giving them das. Das means that they should not just know about Hashem, but they should know about Hashem in a way that they really care and that means something to them. That's their normal. It's their vivid reality. Is Hashem is their vivid reality. And then there is the way the Moshe of other generations, the extension of Moshe of other generations, inspires absolute sacrifice to keep their mitzvahs. Those are various ways that the Moshe of each generation inspires the Jewish people, either by giving them das and of giving them this vivid clarity in Hashem's presence, or to Mesiras Nefesh. And what the Rebbe did is the Rebbe explained that both those things are actually coming from the same place. In order for a Jew to have Mesiras Nefesh, it's by the essence of the Neshama being revealed. Because only when the essence of the Neshama is revealed is the only option. Is there that sense that, as Alter Rebbe says, a Jew does not want and cannot sever his bond with Hashem? That sense is only felt when the essence of the Neshama is revealed. And similarly, in order for there to be the convergence of our natural self, our intellect and our feelings, with our transcendent self, which is our faith in Hashem, there to be convergence of these two energies, there has to be the revelation of the essence of the Neshama. The essence of the Neshama sort of threads is the essence of every part of the Neshama. Therefore, there's no dissonance, there's no separation between the higher parts of ourselves, our faith in Hashem, and the lower parts of ourselves, our intellect, our feelings, because the essence of the Neshama is the essence of the entire Neshama. And therefore, when that's revealed, there could be the convergence of our faith in Hashem, and that way we actually think and feel, the way we look at the world. So both the Moshe of Moshe Rabbeinu and the Moshe of every generation, they both do the same thing. They both reveal the essence of the Neshama. But in Moshe Rabbeinu's generation, there was no need to die for termites. So in his generation, the expression of essence was in faith being real. And in Mordechai's generation, the expression of the essence of the Neshama was an actual sacrifice. And you see more essence in sacrifice than you do in faith being real, faith becoming real. The reason why you see it more is because for faith to become real, that you need the essence of the Neshama to power that experience. It's working behind the scenes. But in the decision of sacrifice, in the decision of I cannot separate myself from Hashem, and therefore right to endure all kinds of pain in order they shouldn't separate themselves from Hashem, in that decision, in that movement, that's raw essence. That's not powered by essence, that is raw essence. That's the essence of Hashem itself. And therefore the pasuk concludes and says, Kasas Amor, there needs to be crushing to get to the luminary, to get the essence of the Neshama, that's Mesiras Nefesh. That's Mesiras Nefesh. What's left to be understood is, first of all, we didn't answer the question of evening to morning, and we didn't answer the question of, what's left to be understood is, what's the meaning of in the middle of that sentence, they should bring the oil to Moshe. We explained bring the oil to Moshe means that when Moshe helps the Jewish people, that brings him oil, that brings him more light. But that somehow fits in the flow of the sentence, Moshe connects the Jewish people to Hashem, and they bring him more light, and that somehow connects the end of the sentence to the source of light, to be crushed to be a source of light. So there must be something about the Jewish people bring oil to Moshe, and how that relates to the end of the sentence, being crushed to be a source of light, and the very end of the sentence, a constant flame. So we have to figure out what's that piece of the puzzle, what's the meaning of them bringing oil to Moshe, how does it connect with being crushed to be a source of light, and how does it fit with the end of the sentence, a constant flame? What's going on? So we're up to Eis Tes. This verse that underscores how the real acceptance of the Torah only happened when the story of Purim happened. That verse is actually not talking about, as we were explaining till now, while the Jewish people were under the decree of Haman and they were resisting his decree by remaining Jews and keeping their mitzvahs in public. But the simple meaning of that verse is actually talking about the time after the miracle of Purim. When the previous Rebbe writes in his discourse that the acceptance of the Torah actually began in the time of Achashverosh, because when the Jewish people were at Mount Sinai, it wasn't a real acceptance. It was just because of the revelation of Hashem. It wasn't real. It wasn't internal. When did they really accept the Torah? The previous Rebbe writes only when they had sacrificed for Torah during the time of Achashverosh. But the question is, the verse is not talking about the time of sacrifice. The verse is talking about after the sacrifice. So the Rebbe says that there's something about their acceptance after the time of sacrifice, when the miracle has already happened, that's deeper than the acceptance of the Torah during the time of the decree of Haman, during the time when they had that over their heads, this dark cloud over their heads, they're all going to be killed on the same day. There was one level accepting the Torah at that time, and there's another deeper level accepting the Torah, which is after everything is great and the decree is over and the Jewish people have all the good stuff. And we need to explain what is the meaning of that acceptance of the Torah? Why is that deeper? So there are actually two elements in our acceptance of the Torah in time of Achashverosh. There was their acceptance of the Torah through their sacrifice as explicit in the Maamar of the previous Rebbe. There was their acceptance of the Torah that followed the miracle of Purim, which was a lot greater than the acceptance of the Torah during the time of the decree, which this seems to be incongruous to the whole, what it means. We can't call our acceptance of the Torah at Mount Sinai to be something real, because we're doing this because of the revelation, because things are easy. Things are flowing. You see Hashem's presence, revelation. So it's not you, it's because of the revelation. Time of Haman, when it's not popular, not popular, if you're Jewish, you're going to get killed, and you still accept the Torah, that shows it's your decision. But here it says the opposite. It says that when's the real acceptance of the Torah? The real acceptance is after everything is great again, after the miracles have happened. It even says that after Mashiach comes, in time of Shlomo Melech, you can't accept converts at that time. Why? Because people accept becoming converted to Judaism at that time. It's not real. It's just because of everything's great. So how can we say the acceptance of the Torah is only in the time after the miracle of Purim? What does that mean? That doesn't give the cost so much. When we say also that the meaning of crushed to be a source of light, that by being crushed in Golus, we reach the source of the neshama, there are also two aspects in that sense as well. There's one way of being crushed because of the decrees that prevent you from keeping Torah mitzvahs and ignoring those decrees and keeping Torah mitzvahs anyways. And that hardship allows you to reach the essence of your neshama. Like when the previous Rebbe was saying this Maamar, there were many decrees against Torah mitzvahs, and people listening to the Maamar were told by the previous Rebbe, put your child in a cheder that teaches Torah on the ground, even though, as the previous Rebbe said at the discourse, if you have to go on fire, but send your child to a Jewish school. So there is one kind of reaching the essence in neshama when you're face to face with such a sacrifice. And there's another concept of being crushed to be a source of light. And what is that? That even when the Jewish people have comfort, their comfort to both physically and even spiritually, but they're in exile. Another concept, another way of being crushed and reaching Estes Neshama is not when you're having all this hardship, but the opposite. You have comfort. You have comfort physically and comfort spiritually. And the only issue you have is that you're in Gullus. It's similar to the time of Purim. After the miracle happened, the Jewish people had comfort physically. As the Torah says, they had light and joy, gladness and honor, which doesn't just mean in the simple sense, but the Gemara explains that light means Torah, and Simcha is Milah, and Sasin is Yantiv, and the Kar is Tefillim. So they had all the brachas and gashmis, all the brachas and ruchnias. Not only they have all those brachas, but also the house of Haman was given to Esther, which emphasizes how the darkness itself is being transformed to light. The only issue was they're still servants of Achashverosh. So, if despite the fact that everything is great and you're still crushed because you're in Gullus, then you reach the essence of your neshama. So there's one way of reaching the essence of your neshama by the friction of going against all of these decrees and defying them and keeping Torah mitzvahs despite them. Another way of reaching the essence of your neshama is when everything's great and wonderful, and you're bothered by the gullus, and that angst you have from being in gullus, that being crushed by being upset by being in gullus, somehow that helps you reach the essence of your neshama. I'm going to explain in the next paragraph why that's true. But there's a way to reach the essence of your neshama by the friction of going against the decrees of the Haman of that generation. And then there's another way of reaching essence in neshama, and that is by being upset that you can't see it, by the fact that you're in gullus. What is that? Why does that feeling have to do with the essence in neshama? Next paragraph. But you know what this means is like this. So why are the Jewish people broken? Look, by being in exile, they have comfort b'gashvus, a comfort b'ruchnis. What are they upset about? The reason they're upset is because the true desire of every single Jew is that the godliness should be revealed. Not only does a Jew care about that a little bit, but this is something that is part and parcel of who every Jew is. This is something that every Jew cares about in a way that is critical. It's a critical need that every Jew has, is that Hashem should be revealed. Therefore, the fact that during the exile we do not experience revelation of Hashem or fractions, especially when someone thinks about the fact that if the Beis Hamikdash is not built in your lifetime, it's considered that it was destroyed in your lifetime. In other words, as we'll see soon, that every person could actually bring Mashiach in themselves. And Alter brings from the Tikkunim that if one person do tshuva, Mashiach will come. So if the Beis Hamikdash is not built in your lifetime, so that means it's as if it's destroyed in your lifetime. So but forget about my role in the mix. That the Mashiach didn't come because of me. But besides that, the fact that Hashem is not revealed, like Hashem was revealed, because of this, he is totally broken because he needs to see Hashem. He needs Hashem to be revealed. Every Jew, it's Negeya. It's something which is critical to every Jew, that a critical need that Hashem should be revealed. And even someone who is at a lofty level. 1 second. Even when someone has a revelation of godliness in a similar way that it was time in Beis Hamikdash, famous story, Mendel HaDoker, this time someone, he was living, I think, in Sfas, and someone went up on the mountain somewhere nearby and blew a shofar. And people thought Mashiach must have come, because why else would a shofar be blown from the mountaintop. They asked him if Mashiach had come, and the Mendel Docker went out of his home, and he sniffed the air, and he said, "No, it's Shmeknas Mashiach. It doesn't smell like Mashiach." So the obvious question is, why have to go outside? The answer is because in his house, he already experienced the way things will be after Mashiach's coming. He already had that. So even someone who's like the Mendel Docker, that he could feel the revelation godliness the similar way than it was the time of Beis Hamikdash. The fact that in the world at large, this revelation isn't present, that indicates that even where the revelation is being experienced, it's limited. Because when the infinite light of Hashem is revealed, where is he revealed? He's revealed everywhere. He's infinite. So if infinite light of Hashem is revealed, there can't be a place where he's not revealed. So when there's one place, even if it's in one corner of the world where there's no revelation, that means that even where there is revelation, it's limited, because if it was infinite, it would touch everywhere. Why isn't it touching everywhere? Because it's not an infinite revelation. Infinite revelation means that there's no place where it's not. That's why the author said, as I quoted before, that if one Jew, here he is, the one Jew, we're waiting for the one Jew to do tshuva. It says if one Jew does tshuva, Mashiach comes. So why is it the Mashiach comes if one Jew does tshuva? What is it about one Jew? Front row seats the same price as back row seats, by the way. It's just harder to text. If one Jew would do tshuva, the Alter Rebbe said Mashiach will come. Why will Mashiach come if one Jew does tshuva? Because tshuva brings down the infinite light of Hashem. And when the infinite light of Hashem is revealed, the revelation is everywhere. Mashiach's coming means that Hashem's presence is revealed everywhere. In order to get to that revelation, you have to touch the infinite light of Hashem. How do you touch the infinite light of Hashem? Is through tshuva. Why taka does tshuva bring down the infinite light of Hashem? So there's a Maamar, I think it's part of Shon Tashal Medal, where the Rebbe explains like this: how is it possible, taka, that tshuva changes the past? Why is it that you do tshuva now and it changes something in the past? Past is a past. So the answer is that in the feeling of teshuva, there is a otherworldly expression of your neshama. There is this sense of I can't be separate from Hashem. That otherworldly feeling is an infinite. It's something beyond the limitations of your natural self. I don't know the details. I wish I hate when people misquote the words. Their words are golden, but I'm gonna have to do that if I want to share with you what I want to say. There was a group of students who were by the Rebbe, and the Rebbe asked if the Rebbe does miracles. The Rebbe said, "I want everyone here to do a miracle." And the Rebbe said that when a person goes beyond themselves, that's doing something miraculous. Going beyond your nature is a miracle for you within yourself. When you do something you think you couldn't have done before, that's a miracle. So similarly, tshuva is, as it says in Tanya, tshuva is a decision. I'm not going to be foolish again. I'm going to serve Hashem. I'm going to do whatever Hashem asks me to do. That feeling is higher than time. And this is higher than time, therefore fixes up the past. So that's why tshuva has to do with geula. It's not because of Averis that tshuva has to do with geula. Because of what geula means the infinite light of Hashem. The infinite light of Hashem requires something infinite within us. What's infinite within us? Tshuva. As I mentioned on Shabbos, I said the essence of a Jew is Mesiras Nefesh and Tshuva. That's what a Jew is. So when a Jew does Tshuva, he brings down the infinity within himself and the infinity of Hashem. And therefore, it shines everywhere. So one Jew does this, the light of Hashem shines everywhere. And if there's one place, the fact that Hashem is not revealed to him, because of this, he is broken. This is similar to the concept of the gematria of the word chayla. The word chayla is numerical equivalent to 49. Why does chayla equal to 49? Because if someone understands the 49 gates of understanding, but they're missing the 50th, they're called chayla, called the sick. They're missing something. They're not in the state of healthy until they get all 50. It's known that Tzemach Tzedek would share about the Alter Rebbe's expression that he would say when he was in a state of spiritual rapture. He would say, I don't want anything, I don't want your Gan Eden, I don't want your Elam Haba, all I want is you alone. Very often, the Rebbe said this, they would cry, they would repeat the words of the Alter Rebbe. And this Maamar said, I think on Shabbos, I don't tape of how the Rebbe said it, but very often the Rebbe said these words, it brought the Rebbe always to tears. The Tzemach Tzedek says we used to hear this, which means it wasn't something he said once, it was something that he said often. So because Alter Rebbe said this often, and because this was publicized by Tzemach Tzedek, so because this is something that we were told about, if it's by divine providence we were told this, and Tzemach Tzedek publicizes and he prints, so it must be that we need to know this. So what do we need to know? Every Jew has the power to transfer his main desire to be that Hashem's essence should be revealed. And this desire can be so important to him that, especially during the time of Galus, when not only do we not have a revelation of Hashem's essence, we don't even have the revelation, the light of Hashem that was shining at the time of the Beis Hamikdash. So when a Jew feels that he's missing that the causes he is broken, we're able to be something of Alter Rebbe's experience could be our own. That's why we were told the story. We were told the story because we need to know that it's possible that we could transfer our main desire to be not whatever it was a moment ago, but that our main desire should be that the Hashem should be revealed. So if Hashem is not revealed, so then it bothers us, and it bothers us to such an extent that we're broken. And the Jew asks 3 times a day or more that may our eyes see or return to Tzi and Mirachim. Then when Mashiach will come, there will be a revelation of godliness, there will be a revelation of Hashem's essence. So when the revelation isn't there, we don't see this revelation, so the Alter Rebbe gave us the power, this should bother us. In other words, it's kind of similar to our discussion earlier on the Maamar about our faith in Hashem. We were born with faith in Hashem. But Moshe of every generation gives stability that our faith in Hashem should be something that's part of who we are, that's real to us. In a similar way, we're saying over here, a Jew wants Hashem to be revealed. That's what a Jew is. A Jew wants revelation. That's who a Jew is. Not only does a Jew want this, is something which is a critical need for every Jew. By the Alter Rebbe publicizing this, and the Tzemach Tzedek saying, I don't want Gan Eden, I don't want Elam Haba, all I want is you, that resonates within us something. And to a certain extent, we're able to shift so that our main desire should be the revelation of Hashem. Not just revelation. When the Marazov is a great chassid, he wanted to underscore the paradigm shift of the Alter Rebbe's statement. He said, I don't want Gan Eden, I don't want Elam Haba. Ich will mir nicht das Zichalein. Zichalein means myself. All I want is me. That's our default position from our animal soul. All I want is me. In language of Papa, I am what I am until I am. I want what I want things that I want. And that's our default animal soul position. Selfish. But the Alter Rebbe gave us the power to shift this, that we should care. And we should ask. The Rebbe says to ask 3 times a day or more. It means, what's the Rebbe saying? The Rebbe saying this should be something that's on your mind. And that it should just come out of your lips at any given time of the day. We want Mashiach now. It should be something that you think about, not just 3 times a day. And if it's not, it doesn't happen, it should bother you. That's the meaning of the words, be crushed to be a source of light. Because when a Jew is upset that he is in Golus, he's able to reach the essence of his neshama. Because which part of us wants Hashem to be revealed, which part of us cares so much, and we're broken when this doesn't happen. This is the essence of our neshama. The luminary of the neshama, whose bond with Hashem is a bond of the essence. And so since the part of us that cares so much is our very core, so when that becomes my experience, when I am so upset that Hashem is not revealed, that bothers me, that means that I am feeling something from the essence of my neshama. The essence of my neshama is what cares. So if I care, if that's how I feel, and I'm upset, that means that I am experiencing the essence of my neshama. Yeah? So now we explained how it's possible to reach the luminary, reach the essence of the neshama in a new way that we didn't learn before. First way we learned made sense. You're in Golos, there are decrees against you. Okay, so then you're able to reach the essence of the neshama by defying the decrees. Now they were saying that this is something which is relevant to all of us. If you're able to ask for Mashiach in a very sincere way, you're touching something of your essence of your neshama. That request, we want Mashiach now, is something which, to really mean that, that's something which comes from the essence of neshama. That heartfelt cry, I want Hashem to be revealed. Let this happen. That let's go to Yerushalayim. Let's be in the Beis Hamikdash and let's see the Avos and Yaakov and Meshach and Hashem should be revealed. That revelation, that experience, that desire for that experience, that's something which comes from the core of the neshama. And when we feel it, we are feeling the essence of our neshama. Okay. Which we're going to see how this has to do with bringing the oil to Meshach. In short, where we're going is that in order to make that part of us, we have to be able to take what Moshe gives us and internalize it. We have to take, Moshe really helps us get in touch with the essence of our neshama. In order for us to actually be upset, naturally, as a human feeling, we want this to happen. In order for us to have that feeling, it's by connecting this essence of our neshama that Moshe gives us, Moshe reveals in us, with our natural self. That's the idea of bringing the oil to Moshe, as we'll see with Hashem. Questions, comments, criticism, tomatoes, and cucumbers.
That was a crazy game last night.
Go Rams, huh? That's the conclusion.
Oh, I don't like golf. I mean football.
You're great. You go ahead.
Oh, I think it was the third Aliyah last week. No, fourth Aliyah last week. Rabbi Gordon, Chabad. I don't know how many years ago they recorded this. He said, when you're from LA, you can forget the Rams. Never mind. You should remember the Rams or something. But he said, I was thinking, oh no, what does this mean? Because it happened right around